How to go from being a boy to a man. Boys, it's time to upgrade not just your looks, but also your personality. That goofy charm was good until the age of 18, 19 maybe. But women want men with some character and mature traits. Sure, they love acting like kids with their favorite man, but only because their mindset is that of a grown man. I'll tell you some habits and behaviors you can adapt to become a real man. Without further ado, this is my guide on how to go from being a stupid boy to a man. Number 1. Learn to solve problems before they become a problem. The biggest problem with boys is that they have no idea what their habits, behaviors, and thinking patterns are like. This causes them to do actions that are wrong and hurtful. And then these behaviors solidify, turning into bad habits and toxic traits. You don't want to wait for problems to pop up. A real man looks ahead and tries to spot trouble before it starts. Pay attention to your life. Figure out what might go wrong. This way, you can fix things before they become big messes. It's like finding a small hole in your shoe. You fix it right away before it gets bigger, right? Do the same thing with life problems. To do this, you need to really pay attention to what's going on. Think about how you feel and what you do. This helps you see if you're doing things that might cause trouble later. For example, if you start to get really angry all the time, notice it. If you don't do something about it, it could cause big problems. Seeing problems before they happen makes you smarter and stronger. You can stay calm and handle things better. This applies to all aspects of life, whether it's personal or professional. Number 2. Take responsibility for your actions. Boys often make excuses. When something goes wrong, they'll blame someone else or say it wasn't their fault. It's like they're trying to dodge the ball instead of facing it. I've seen this a lot in relationships when boys hurt their partner and then just never apologize or take responsibility for it. Men, on the other hand, own up to their mistakes. They take responsibility for what they do. Even if they didn't mean to do something wrong, they admit it and try to fix it. This shows courage and maturity. Making mistakes is inevitable, but what you do to fix them shows who you really are. It's a big difference. Taking responsibility isn't always easy, but it's a sign of a real man. It shows that you respect yourself and others. So, when someone takes responsibility for their actions, it's like they're saying, "Hey, I messed up, but it's on me." That takes guts, you know? It shows they're honest, brave, and mature. Plus, people are way more likely to trust someone who's upfront about their mistakes. It's like building trust brick by brick. Basically, it makes them seem like a pretty good person to be around. Number 3. Know when to forgive. Being able to forgive someone is a big deal. It shows you're mature and can move on from things. A lot of guys hold on to grudges, like forever. It's like carrying around extra weight. It's tiring and doesn't do any good. Some men still hold grudges for their 6th grade breakup. This stuff sounds funny, but it's not good for long-term relationships. Forgiveness isn't about forgetting what happened. It's about deciding not to let it ruin your life. This is especially true when it comes to parents. Not everyone has perfect parents. And when it comes to boys, sometimes they just don't know what to do. They might have messed up in ways that really hurt. But guess what? Holding on to anger is like carrying a heavy backpack everywhere you go. So when I decided to let them off the hook, I did it for my own sake. It's about freeing yourself from the pain. This might not be the case for everyone, and sometimes you just need to cut them off if they're really abusive. Let me tell you one more thing that people often confuse. There's a difference between forgiving someone and letting them walk all over you. If someone keeps hurting you over and over, that's not okay. You need to stand up for yourself, talk to them about it, or if that doesn't work, maybe it's time to distance yourself. Forgiveness is important, but it's not a free pass for bad behavior. Number 4. Get rid of cheap pleasures. I say this all the time. Being a grown-up isn't just about age. It's about making smart choices. Part of that is learning to say no to quick, easy pleasures. Sure, partying, hooking up, and indulging in every whim sounds fun, but it's like eating junk food all the time. It might taste good at the moment, but it doesn't do much for you in the long run. Real growth happens when you start building something lasting. To do that, you need a clear head. Self-control is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Discipline helps you focus on what's important, not just what feels good right now. It's about looking past the immediate gratification and seeing the bigger picture. Trust me, the rewards of building a strong, focused life are better than any temporary high. And the thing is, this reckless lifestyle of yours can seriously impact your relationships. If you're always chasing quick thrills or living in the moment, it's tough to build something deeper and meaningful. Trust and commitment are your plants. They need care and attention to grow. If you're always out and about, or if you're constantly changing your mind, it's hard to build that trust. A strong relationship is built on shared experiences, growth, and support. It's tough to do that if you're always focused on yourself and your next party invite. Remember, lasting relationships are about building something together, not just about having fun. Number 5, don't seek external validation. Everyone always says to be yourself, but they don't tell you how to do that. Some of us grow up in environments that don't give us space to express ourselves. And that's true for a lot of Black men too. But when these people-pleasing habits enter adulthood, it's not healthy or mature. When you're constantly seeking approval from others, you risk losing yourself. You become a chameleon, changing colors to fit any environment. This people-pleasing behavior is often rooted in low self-esteem and fear of rejection. People-pleasers often sacrifice their own values and boundaries for the sake of others. This lack of a moral compass is a sign of immaturity. It's crucial to have personal ethics that guide your actions, regardless of external pressure. Without these internal guidelines, you're easily swayed by the opinions of others. Psychologically, people-pleasing can be a defense mechanism. It might stem from childhood experiences where approval was scarce. This creates a deep-rooted need for validation. Over time, it becomes a habit, and breaking free can be challenging. It's essential to recognize this pattern and start building self-worth from within. It's easier said than done, but when you start trusting your gut and expressing your thoughts, you'll attract like-minded people and learn to build community. Things will fall into place once you stop seeking external validation for everything. Number 6, expand your horizons. A lot of men stick to what they know their whole life. Take your own dad, for example. He'll eat the same stuff every day and just refuse to try new foods. I know that's how my dad is. Some point in this life, he decided he had a small comfort zone and never stepped out. But I'm not like that. Trying new things, meeting different people, and exploring different cultures can totally change your perspective. With each experience, you learn something new about yourself. You discover your strengths, weaknesses, and limits. You learn to adapt, problem solve, and appreciate the little things. All of this growth and self-discovery is what makes you a more mature and interesting person. So you can stay in your comfort zone or venture out and actually develop a personality outside of high school. Your boyish youth is a fun part of your life, but that's all it is, a part of your life. You should know when to grow up and start acting like an adult. Learn to forgive, take responsibilities for your mistakes, and stay away from cheap pleasures and the urge for external validation. Slowly, you'll turn into a mature man. If you enjoyed this video or find it helpful at all, go ahead and give us a like. Make sure to subscribe to the channel so you can get your weekly dose of guidance. Remember, with each video you watch and every action you take, you bring yourself closer to the version you've always imagined to be.